cracking. Welcome to your 10 a.m. Pilates. My name is Deb. We have our prop ready. We're going to start lying on our back, just like always. So we're lying on the ground. I'm just going to keep that handy. And make sure that the back of your head is lying on the floor so that your chin is tucking in. Now, if that's really difficult for you and your chin is poking up, then you can roll the back of the mat in, is the first thing to try until you can lie with a long straight neck, or you can prop the back of the head up with the block. Resting the shoulders down on the ground, just check that you're on two Pilates train tracks, so your hips, your knees, and your third toes track on two straight lines. And then if your pelvis is heavy and there is a small arch under the middle of your back, you're usually pretty much bang on in neutral spine. Just make sure you're releasing your pelvis into the floor. We're going to set neutral pelvis by creating a diamond across our hips. So thumbs in the belly button, first two fingers of both hands on your pubic bone. We're going to keep everything below the ribs really still, tucking the chin in, curling up over the ribs and looking at that diamond. So we need the thumb and the fingers to both be parallel to the floor. You might need to adjust that a little bit to find it. And then resting the head back down once you've adjusted and found a horizontal diamond across your pelvis. Resting the hands down by the sides, we're going to practice switching on our T-zone. What's that? Well, vertical line of the T-zone is your pelvic floor, and you pull that gently inwards and up, all the way from the perineum up towards the navel. At the same time, we're going to dish the hip bones inwards and down. So we want to feel the middle section between the hip bones scooping in and drawing down. And we do both of those things at once with an exhale through pursed lips. Why do we exhale through pursed lips in Pilates? Well, it's to get you a nice contraction through the diaphragm. It facilitates the downwards dishing of the rib cage when we breathe through pursed lips. We always inhale through the nose, and that breath we send to the backs and sides of the ribs. So let's practice this. Inhale through the nose to begin. As you exhale through your pursed lips, the pelvic floor is rising. The hips are dishing inwards and down. Hold that for a breath in. And slowly release it as you breathe out. Again, we inhale to prepare. Exhale, T-zone slowly and gradually tightening. Holding that T-zone tight at the top as we breathe in. And slowly releasing as we breathe out. Great work. We're going to test if we are doing a good job of that. And how we do that is by taking the first two fingers on both of our hands, resting them on the hip bones, sliding them in an inch or two, and then digging them firmly down, because we want to feel the transverse abdominals rise into the fingers as we contract. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, slowly and gradually contracting, noticing the feedback into the fingertips. Holding the contraction, checking it stays on as we inhale through the nose, and making sure that contraction melts away slowly from the fingers as we breathe out through the mouth. One last time, checking for our feedback, making it small and smooth. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, T-zone tightening. Noticing gradual resistance increasing into the fingers. Maintaining that resistance as we breathe in. And gradually releasing it as we breathe out. Great work. We're moving on now to arm prep. We're going to keep the ribs nice and low so they're not allowed to get excited and flare as we move the arms. Bringing the arms up onto the vertical line and flattening the shoulder blades down into the mat. T-zone tight, about 4.5 out of 10, 45% as we breathe in. Keeping the ribs down and the T-zone contracted as we take the arms back, breathing out. Now, once those hands touch the ground, bring them back up as you inhale and take them down again as we exhale. Inhale the arms up and exhale them away. You can start quite wide today. We are going to move into a narrow alignment after just two more. Great. Bring your arms back down. Pause where you are for me. Don't move. I'm just going to show you how I'd like you to hold on to your block. So we're going to use the prop Even if it's the side of the cushion, try to press your hands into the side of it so they're nice and flat. And if it's the ball, you can do the same thing. You're using your hands, you're not gripping with the fingers, you're pressing inwards with the palms. So we're coming back down, extending the block directly up to the ceiling, T-zone tight as we inhale, extending the arms back with the shoulders down as we exhale. Lifting back up again, breathing in, and extending away, breathing out. So keeping the ribs down, keeping the shoulders connected to the ground, the neck is long and straight, the arms are extending. We want to keep those elbows lengthening, extending away on the exhale, lifting up on the inhale. You've got 4 more of those. Oh, looking amazing, guys. Looking really lovely. Last 2. And last 1. Great. Once you inhale the block back up, you can exhale, rest it down on the mat. All right, we're going to come into our lift of foot. But the first thing we need to do is activate our iliacus. So I want you, before you lift your right foot off the floor, imagine that you have to peel it off Velcro. So hands are down by the sides, shoulders are flat to the floor, T-zone tight to 4.5 out of 10 as we inhale. Imagining we're peeling the foot off Velcro before we lift it to tabletop as we exhale. Slowly bring it back down to the ground as we breathe in, then peel the left foot off Velcro as we lift it up and you breathe out. And that should be enough to get your iliacus to activate today. Exhale, peel and lift. Inhale, control, place it back on the Velcro strip. Exhale, peeling away. Now, as we work through our our lift of foot, we're trying to keep our pelvis really stable, maintaining neutral pelvis, neutral spine, keeping the ribs contained, keeping the belly tight. Exhaling to lift. This will be your last one on the left. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. We switch now into lift and extend. Right leg rises, we inhale, T-zone tight. We exhale, extend it out long and straight. Bring it back into the tabletop. Inhale, pop it down on the mat. Exhale. Left leg rise, breathe in. Extend it out, breathe out. Back into tabletop. Inhale, onto the Velcro. Exhale. Peel the right foot up, breathe in, extend it away, breathe out, lift it on the inhale, replace it on the exhale. So keep going with this exercise, really attentive and in tune with the connection of the back of the hips and the back of the ribs to the floor, really protecting this space under the low back, focusing on control, stillness, and moving with your breath. Popping the left foot down, we're going to add on now. We're going to go into our single leg circles. Now, when we do this exercise, I'd really love it if you could please avoid any snap, crackle, and pop in the hip. It's not a competition to reach a toe up to the ceiling, but we do want to find full extension through the leg. So as we inhale the T-zone tight, the right leg extends long and straight with a pointy toe. Exhale as we trace it down just a little bit. Then turn the thigh out to the side, semicircle up, back to your starting point. The leg is in a neutral alignment as it comes down. We turn it out as we sweep it up and around. Also, keep going with your semicircle. We need to keep the left hip grounded and the left knee absolutely still. If you are able to do that, you can start to make your semicircle bigger. Cool, take it slow. Exhale it down, semicircle up and around. Move with control. Know that the thigh is rotating in the hip socket. You want to visualize here the mortar and the pestle. Last one in this direction. We're going to switch it around now. Exhale down the straight line. Inhale that leg back up. Turn the toe out, semicircle down and away. Now, this is where I often start to get some snap, crackle, and pop in my hip. And to avoid it, I reduce my range. I don't take my leg quite so low. Use the T-zone to lift the leg and keep the belly flat. Use the rib to hip dish to circle the toe down. 2 more here. Inhale that leg back up. bend the knee, and slowly replace it down on the Velcro strip we've put on the ground today. All right, let's do this on the left side. T-zone tight, we inhale, peel the left leg off the Velcro, extend it long and straight. Trace it down the straight line as we exhale, turn it out, semicircle it up and over. Exhale down the line, turn the toe out, semicircle it up and around. So we're doing this again, we start small to begin with. We check that we can keep our pelvis and our right knee absolutely stable. We're trying to create pelvic stability at the start of our workout to carry us all the way through. You can make your movement bigger, but never at the cost of keeping the hips and the leg really steady. This is the last one in this direction. Let's turn it around. We're going to take it straight down, then inhale it up, strong belly. Turn it out to the side, circle it down and away. Up on the inhale, down and away on the exhale. Now, my loves, the month is September. Our theme this month is Splitstember. So hamstrings and hips have a very strong focus in our Pilates sessions this month. Work really hard to keep that leg long and straight. Last one, down and around on the exhale, up on the breath in, bend the knee and pop it down as we breathe out. Let's get into our obliques, well, our abdominals curls, our abdominal crunches. Bring your fingertips to the base of the skull. Send the elbows and the collarbones out wide. T-zone tight as we breathe in, curling up from the ribs, eyes on the thighs as we breathe out. Keep that belly flat. Control it slowly back down as we inhale. Curl it up, keeping your posture open as we exhale. Good work. So this is where we start firing up the rib to hip connection. And the more we imagine those ribs curling down into the floor, the better we get at extending the top of the head up towards the sky. What we're not doing is pushing the mid back down into the ground, because that will mean that we're tucking. So we're going to be changing the posture of the pelvis. We're not doing that. We're keeping our pelvis in neutral as we rise on the exhale and lower on the inhale. Let's up the ante just a touch here, team. Extend those arms as you exhale. Bring them back as you inhale. Extend as you exhale. Bring them back as you inhale. And you want to really reach those fingertips towards the toes. Last one. We're going to take the block and pop it along the inside line of the thighs. We're coming into our obliques twists now. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight, exhale the right rib over to the left hip. Now, why are we squeezing onto this block here when we start to work on our obliques? Because when we start to work on our obliques crunches, often the hips start to move and the thighs start to move. Squeezing onto the block, ball, or cushion is a really great way to encourage your legs to continue to stay still. Exhaling it over, coming all the way up onto the tip of the shoulder blade and inhaling it down. It also encourages you to keep neutral pelvis rather than over tuck. Let's extend the arm on the exhale. Bring the hand back to the base of the skull as we inhale. Extend it over. Inhale it down. I want you to think about how long you can reach through the fingertip. Really create length, keeping the belly contained. We have 3 more to go. All right, inhale the head down, relax it on the ground. We're going to take this block away, but we're doing a series of 3 exercises next. We will return the block to the legs partway through, so be prepared. We're resting the head down on the ground, shoulders down flat, arms come down. We have to remember to use our iliacus as we bring our legs up into a tabletop position, and we need to change our pelvic and spinal alignment to move more towards an imprint now. So what we're going to do to begin is draw the ribs down to the hips. And you'll notice that the back naturally lengthens into the mat. Inhale the T-zone tight, peel the right leg up off the Velcro. Exhale, rib to hip connection, strong belly as the left leg follows. So we are now in more of an imprinted spine because of the rib to hip connection. The tailbone is still heavy on the floor, and we have 90 degrees at both the front of the hip and the back of the knee. Single toe tap. Reconnect to T-zone, 5.5 out of 10 with the inhale. Slowly lower the right toe down to the ground as you exhale. Just as slowly, bring it back up as you breathe in, and then take the left hip toe down as we breathe out. Try and maintain the same amount of bend at the back of the knee, just while we get started. I want you to focus on nothing else moving, on keeping a hollow belly, rib to hip connection, and keeping that angle of bend at the back of the knee as we control the toe down to the ground. Now, if this is too hard and you are not able to keep your pelvis still, then you would increase the amount of bend at the back of the knee and then lower the toe down. I'm demonstrating that now. If you need the easier option, check in with the bend and tap. If you want more of a challenge, if this is too easy for you, we increase the amount of extension at the front of the hip. Still keeping the knee bent, but extending the hip further away. Good. You have 2 more here. Last one. It's not rest time, team. We're going to take that block in between the thighs and give it a solid squeeze. Now make sure that your ankles are tracking with your knees. Bring the fingertips to the base of the skull. T-zone tight, 5.5 out of 10 on the inhale. Curl it up into your abdominals crunch as you exhale. Control it down as you breathe in. Curl the ribs down, crown of the head to the ceiling as you breathe out. We're keeping our posture open. We're lengthening the back of the neck. And we're drawing the rib cage down, both to the hips and into the ground. If you'd like to try extending the arms, please go ahead, but don't sacrifice the comfort of your head and neck. Now I need you to make sure those legs are absolutely still in a tabletop position. Interrupted by puppy kisses. Last 2. Last 1. You can remove the block for the moment. Hug the knees, give them a squeeze. Go for 3 circles in one direction. 3 circles in the other direction. All right, we're now going to come into our bicycle legs and then into our obliques crunches. So 2 exercises connected again. We start with the legs in tabletop position. Really let the belly and the hips drop down, then draw the ribs down to the hips to draw the small of the back closer to the ground. Press the hands through the floor and inhale the T-zone tight, 5.5, maybe even a 6 out of 10 here. Exhale as the right leg extends. Inhale to bring it back. Exhale as the left leg extends. Inhale to bring it back. Now the leg doesn't have to go low, but what I need you to do is find long, straight, and fully extended. When we're lying on our back and not placing the legs under any load, you can extend that leg to 100% safely. When we're standing and we're working a loaded exercise, we don't want to extend our joints to 100%. But here, no load through the knee, no load through the ankle. You can work to your maximum extension. If you want a challenge, you can take those legs lower. Cool. Only if you want / need a challenge. We're going to do 1 more on each side. I can see you really well. You're doing a beautiful job. Great. Coming back to your tabletop position, popping the block back between the thighs, giving it a good squeeze, making sure that the knees and the ankles still track in parallel. Fingertips to the base of the skull, T-zone tight, inhale. Right rib over to the left hip, nothing else moves. Exhale. Slowly back to the ground as we breathe in and switch to the other side as we breathe out. Guys, I need more focus on keeping the position of the shoulders the same throughout the movement. We must not let the elbow travel over to the opposite thigh. In Pilates, it's the rib moving to the opposite hip. We're trying to train a better posture. So if the shoulder is coming forward, that's continuing our same computer postural habits. We're trying to change those habits. Exhale it over, inhale it down. Great adjustment. Let's extend the arm to the opposite side now, extending as far as you can over the opposite thigh. Inhale it down, exhale to switch. Keep it going. I'm just going to give a little check on you. Looking good, team. So you've got 4 more. You've got to finish reaching the left arm over the right thigh. And even lift your feet a little bit higher. Beautiful. Really good. And when you're finished, you can remove the block, hug the knees in, give them a squeeze. Go for 3 circles in one direction and 3 circles in the other direction. I have some really fantastic news for you, team. We get to have a stretch here. Woo-woo. We're going to get our hamstrings to wake up and lengthen before we try and do any more straight leg work. I just want to maximize how good your legs feel today. So we've got our neutral spine, neutral pelvis, neutral alignment. Draw the right thigh up towards your chest and just really try and get the knee to touch towards your ribs, keeping the bottom really heavy on the floor. We're then going to take the hands to the back of the thigh, keep the thigh in position. So what I mean by that is please don't allow your leg to move away from your body. Flex your right foot and start to extend it, keeping the thigh against your body, keeping your thigh exactly where it is. So keeping that foot flexed, you will eventually find a spot where your leg starts to tremble. Good morning, nerve stretch. That's what we're after. So we're going to back out of that as we breathe in and come back to the nerve stretch as we breathe out. We're going to do that 4 times. Two more. All right, keep your leg where it is, like keep it shaking. You can now take your hands away. We can now drive that heel away until the leg is long and straight. Keeping your hips steady, we're going to take the heel down till it almost touches the ground, then point the toe, keep the belly flat as we extend the leg back up. Flex the foot, take it towards the floor, point the toe, extend it back up. Nothing else moves. 2 more times. Flex the foot, lower it down. Point the toe, bring it up. Flex the foot, rib to hip, push it away. Point the toe, lift it up. Now that the leg is back up at the top, we're going to take the hands wherever they will reach with both your hips and your shoulders on the floor. If that's not possible, use a strap. Find anything, a towel, a t-shirt, a jumper, a sock, and take that to the back of the leg and use it to pull the leg towards you. Now we're going to do what's called a Pnf stretch, where we push the leg into the hands. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight, hold the breath as we push for a count of 5 and relax. Then we'll draw the leg closer to the face. We're going to do that 2 times. So inhale the T-zone tight, hold your breath, push the leg down through the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Inhale. And in the next exhale, draw the leg closer towards you. Now, how hard you push determines how much you can release. That's the magic of Pnf stretching. So bear that in mind for our next round. T-zone tight, we inhale. Hold your breath and push the leg down through the hands as hard as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Inhale, T-zone. And exhale, draw the leg closer. The next thing we're going to work on is called reciprocal inhibition. It's squeezing one set of muscles to lengthen another set of muscles. So when we want to get a nice straight leg, we actually need to squeeze the front of the thigh to extend the back of the knee. So we want the hamstrings to lengthen extra by squeezing the quadriceps harder. So really take the hands away once you can feel that your thigh is squeezing to its max to extend the back of the knee. Don't worry if the leg drops away a little bit. We're working on creating a line. So once we have that quad squeezing super, super tight, the back of the knee open and straight, I want you to feel the toe and the thigh where it connects into the hip, pull in opposite directions. And we're going to keep thinking about squeezing and reaching for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the leg bend, give it a shimmy, shimmy, shake. Take it down to the ground and we'll go for the other side. All right, so we've got neutral pelvis, neutral spine. We're going to draw the left thigh towards the chest. Keep it there. So the tailbone is down and the legs as close to your body as it can be. Left foot is flexed. Let's go searching for the shimmy, shimmy, shake. Where is it today? Keeping that thigh against the body. Where's the shimmy shake? Good morning, nerves. Woo-hoo. There they are. So find that shimmy shake, lean into it a little bit, and then we're going to back it off. Breathe in, find it again, breathe out. Back it off on the inhale, find it on the exhale. Breathe, go. Last 2. Last one. Great. Let's extend that leg with a flex foot. Feel the thigh pull down through the hip and the heel extend to the ceiling. That flex foot is going to lower down so it almost touches the ground. Point the toe, sweep the leg back up. Flex the foot, control it down to the floor. Point the toe, sweep it back up. 2 more. Now, keeping the toe pointed, grabbing the leg with the hands, we're going to do our Pnf stretch. Empty all of your breath. Inhale the T-zone tight. Hold your breath. Push that leg down through the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, draw the leg closer. And again, T-zone tight, we inhale. Hold it. Press that leg down, scissor it to the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, draw the leg close. Now we're going to use that reciprocal inhibition to try and keep the leg where it is. So think about squeezing the thigh to make the back of the leg yawn open. Keep squeezing the front of the thigh. And we're not just finding extension through the knee, we need to find extension through the ankle. So your calf muscle needs to squeeze. So we've got the front of the thigh and the back of the leg. Really squeezing to make full extension through that leg. The thigh is sucking down into the hip. The toe is reaching up towards the ceiling. Keep thinking about squeezing and extending for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it the shimmy shake. Bring it down to the floor. Okay. 2 exercises we're going to do together. I'm going to give you a really quick demo. The first one is our single leg stretch. The follow-up is the single straight leg stretch. It starts in a tabletop position. I curl my ribs down. I draw my knee to my face, keeping my shoulders down. I inhale to switch. I exhale to squeeze. I will then instruct you to come back to tabletop position, extend the legs towards the ceiling. We take a hold of that leg wherever we can as we inhale. We take the other leg down with a double huff. Inhale, switch. Cool. So we want to try and work those hamstrings. We're going to use the single leg stretch to get us warm, the straight leg stretch to work us hard. Let's get going. Tabletop position, imprinted spine, T-zone tight, 6 to 6.5 out of 10 as we inhale, curling up, taking a hold of the right knee and extending the left leg as we exhale. Inhale to switch, exhale to squeeze. Inhale to switch, exhale to squeeze. Now remember, it doesn't matter how low the leg goes. It matters today how straight the leg is. How much you can squeeze the muscles of the leg that you're reaching away at the same time as squeezing your T-zone. Pilates doesn't just shape and tone the belly, it shapes and tones the legs. And you do that by thinking about how much you're squeezing and controlling those muscles. You have 4, 3, good work. 2, you're doing amazing. 1, come back to tabletop. Inhale the T-zone tight. Exhale, extend the legs. Breathe in, draw the shoulders back. Double half, drop it down. Inhale, switch. Now the shoulders are back and down. You're curling the ribs towards the hips. The back of the neck is long and straight. The crown of the head is pointing up to the ceiling. And the more you use that double half for your diaphragmatic contraction, the better your results will be. Guys, it's really important that you think about squeezing your thigh, squeezing your quad as that leg comes back towards your face. Try not to let the leg bend. Sit up as tall as you can, try and straighten it. We've warmed up for this, we've practiced for this, and we'll be doing it all month. And I hope by the end of September you can do this exercise with perfectly straight knees. Last 2. Last 1, this time take the knees wide, bring the hands to the inside, pull them to the side and rock side to side. Great work. Now, when we come into our Pilates 100s preps and 100s today, because we've got such lovely loose hamstrings, getting full extension through the legs should be a piece of cake. Keeping those knees and ankles right on top of the hips should be much easier than normal, fingers crossed. We're going to use the block and we're going to hold it between the ankles so that we have awareness of where our feet are in space. Starting in our tabletop position, I'm just going to get that there. Great. Bringing your arms up into arm prep, T-zone tight, we inhale. We're going to start by curling the rib to hip, sitting up tall and sweeping the arms down. Inhale it back to your start position, head on the floor, fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, sweep it around and curl up. Inhale the head down, the hands up. Exhale, sweep it around and sit up. Inhale the head down, the hands up. Looking amazing, take the toes up now. As you sit up tall, reach your toes and the block to the ceiling. Squeeze those thighs, squeeze the knees. As we inhale, the arms slice up as the knees carefully bend to tabletop. Keep going. Exhale, curl up and extend. Inhale, replace. Now, when we're extending those legs, commonly people squeeze and lift their bottom off the floor. I want you to make sure that your bottom is remaining in contact with the ground, that we're squeezing the front of the thigh to extend the block or cushion to the ceiling. You have 3 more here. Let me see how good you look. Try to keep your thighs in position. Yes, extending the backs of the legs, feeling those knees yawn open. Last one. Looking amazing, guys. So good. Take a break. Take a break. Love it. You look so good today. Very impressed. Pilates 100s. Cool. So we're going to use the block at the ankles, which makes it a little bit harder, but you did amazing at it. You've done it before. You can do it again. You've got 3 different positions. Level 1, tabletop. Level 2, legs fully extended, which should feel amazing today. And level 3, you can flex. So if you're holding the block in the ankles, it is possible to still flex and externally rotate. It's a little bit wobbly, totally doable. If your neck strains, support your head with the hands. Continue pulsing in your imagination. We'll get to 100. Breathing in for 5 pulses of the arms. Breathing out for 5 pulses of the arms. Remember, your body is a canoe. Cool. We have to scoop and hollow the belly for a count of 100 because the way we train on the mat is the way we walk away from it. Starting in our tabletop position, holding the block between the ankles. Fingertips, start on the outer edges of the thighs. Make sure we've got that neutral alignment here, guys, and imprint the spine. Exhale to curl up, reach long through the fingertips. Squeeze the T-zone tighter as we breathe in, roll the shoulders back and down. First 5 pulses as we breathe out. Inhale for 5, curl up higher, keep reaching. Exhale for 5. Option to extend the legs as you inhale for 5 pulses and exhale for 5 pulses. One more of a challenge. Option to flex, externally rotate and take them down lower. But remember, your body is a canoe. We keep the passengers in the belly. They need a lot of space. They need a lot of room. So hollow it out. Keep curling up, ribs curling down through the floor so the crown of their head can reach up to the ceiling. We're not trying to train a sore neck. So support the head with one hand, keep pulsing with the other hand if you feel your neck straining. You can switch after 10 or 15 pulses. Keep breathing, keep squeezing, keep pulsing. Rachel, you're looking amazing. Sharon, looking fantastic. Looking great, Anita. Try and curl up as high as you can. Get the ribs down to the hips. Sit up super tall. Nice, Sarah. Looking really good. You're here for another 20 seconds. So just keep breathing, keep squeezing, keep pulsing. Try really hard to relax the face because if the wind changes, you could be stuck like that forever. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Really beautiful, guys. 3, 2, 1. Chill. Job done. Reach your arms and your legs out long and straight. Take a big stretch. I know this is really ab intensive today. I apologize for nothing. We're going to do 2 more exercises. We've only got 2 and then we're done. Cool. We're going to do a difficult version of our crisscross, but before we get to that, we're going to do something much harder, which is our scissors. I'm going to give you an assist today in the scissors, so we will use the block to keep us propped up. So you can rest the block just below your bra strap, your crop top strap, or you can rest it against the base of your shoulder blades. It's up to you, whatever feels more comfortable. Shoulder blades, and I lean it towards me. If you only have a cushion, you'd be much lower. You'd fold your cushion in half and you would definitely have it under your shoulder blades. But I like to use the block like so. Now your hands can support the base of your skull if you would like support here. We're going to keep hollowing the belly out as we bring the legs up to tabletop position to begin. Inhale the T-zone tight and then exhale to extend the legs fully. Can you curl up a little higher? Can you reach long through the fingertips? Inhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale as you extend the right leg. Good. Inhale as you bring it back. Exhale as you extend the left leg. Inhale as you bring it back. Now make sure that your tailbone is pressing through the floor, the ribs are scooping down towards the hips, and every time we inhale and lift the leg, we also lift the pelvic floor. Hip bones are dishing across and down. You can support the head with one or both hands if you prefer, it's totally fine. Really working on the length and control of the legs, squeezing the muscles, squeezing the front of the thigh, squeezing the back of the calf, shaping and toning using our intention and our breath. You have 5. Good work, guys. Sitting up as tall as you can. 4. Try not to let the leg bounce up. Move slowly, control it. 2. Last one. Good work. Reach the arms and the legs out. You can remove your prop. Reaching the arms out long and straight. Arms and legs out long. We won't be using the block next week. We'll be doing that off our own steam. The final frontier, it's our crisscross. We are doing the level I like to call strawberry. In the strawberry crisscross, we never place our head back down on the ground unless you need the easier option. I call that level where we pop the head down and lift it again. That's vanilla. So we're just doing the strawberry crisscross today, which is a combination of our bicycle legs with our obliques curl. So we've got the legs going like this, and at the same time, we take the rib to the opposite hip. So we take the rib to the bent leg side, but we're going to keep the head off the floor for the whole time. Fingertips to the base of the skull, come up into your tabletop position. T-zone tight, we inhale, take the rib to the left hip, extend the right leg as you exhale. Curl it to the center, breathe in. Switch it over to the other side, breathe out. Curl it to the center on the inhale and switch it over as you exhale. Keep going. Now, everything below your ribs, all the way to the tailbone, stay still on the mat. I'm going to say that one more time. Everything from the ribs down to the hips stays still on the mat. You are not rocking. You are not rolling. The only thing lifting is one side of the hips, and those legs are traveling out and in on 2 straight lines. You have 10 more of these. Keep going. Try and keep the shoulders open. Good. Good. This is the finisher. The last thing we have to do here. Good. There's 5. You're halfway. Really nice, team. Really, really good. Try and think about the extension of that leg. 3, 2, 1. You are done. Hug the knees to your chest. Give them a huge squeeze. Give yourself a cuddle, massage your back into the floor in any way that feels good. You can imagine that you're a bear rubbing up against a tree in a forest. Fabulous. Yeah, rock and roll is totally fine. Okay. So we're going to use the block in our pelvic curl series today. A block or our cushion or our ball, and it's going to take up the length of our thighs. Oh, sorry, we need to do glute prep. Legs straight. Legs straight. T-zone tight, we inhale. Buns of steel, we exhale. Hold back for a big breath in. And everything slowly softens as we breathe out. T-zone on the inhale. Buns of steel as we exhale. Hamstrings have to lift. Hold that for a breath in. And soften as we breathe out. One more time. T-zone. Glutes. Hold. Slow release. Right, now we're going to step the heels close to the hips. Just check that you can touch your feet with your fingertips. And we're still on those 2 straight lines. Really roll the shoulders. So broad collarbones, roll the shoulders down and press them into the ground. That's super important here. Chin tucked in and neck straight. But often when we broaden the collarbones, we also open the ribs. So keeping the collarbones broad, I want you to take the ribs and contract them in and down. T-zone tight, breathe in. Tuck the tailbone under and one vertebrae at a time, peel away from the mat until there's a straight line from the shoulders all the way through the hips to the knees. At the top, we inhale, scoop the tailbone under, and vertebrae by vertebrae, exhale and imprint into the mat. Now, once we finally get to the tailbone, you get to inhale, release into your neutral or beyond. T-zone tight, and we exhale, peel away again. Keeping the ribs contained, but keeping the collarbones broad. At the top, squeezing the bottom, finding a straight line, inhale, and then vertebrae by vertebrae coming back down with the exhale. You got to really pull the ribs and the belly in to get the vertebrae behind the waist before the bottom touches the floor. You're going to do 2 more of these on your own. And on the second one, we're going to meet at the top. I often find that it's at the transition to come back down that the shoulders start to lift and turn in. So just be really conscious of keeping the shoulders down and the posture open today. Now, once we're at the top, I'd like you to keep your hips still. They're not allowed to drop down towards the floor. If that means taking your hands and using them to keep the hips in position, you can do so by pressing your shoulders and your elbows into the floor, turning your palms face up and scooping them in. Inhale as your left foot presses down through the ground. Exhale as the right leg extends, following the line from the shoulder to the toe. Inhale the right foot back down onto the ground and exhale as the left leg extends. Inhale it down, exhale to switch. Keeping the hips very still. They're not allowed to drop. Keeping the ribs contained. Keeping the T-zone tight. Keep going. I'm going to just check on you. So we're not trying to win any awards kicking to the ceiling. We're trying to create a beautiful straight line. Keep squeezing your underbum. I want you to think about where your butt meets your thigh. Really squeeze into that space. You've got 2 more. You're going to finish by extending on the left leg. Really good work. Once that's done and you inhale the left foot to the ground, you're going to exhale vertebrae by vertebrae all the way back down. Love it. Just a quick one there today. Job done. We're going to come up onto our knees now to do the hinge. Sure. So holding the block between the thighs, block, prop, whatever you've got. Tucking the tailbone under, just like we did in that exercise we were just working on. I want you to find the same sense of when we have our arms in arm prep and we're pressing the shoulder blades down through the mat. So I'm going to take the arms into arm prep, good, and press the shoulder blades into an imaginary mat behind us, rib to hip connection, T-zone nice and tight. We're going to inhale it back into a nice straight line and exhale to the top of the movement. Inhale it back, straight line, squeeze your bottom. Exhale to the top of the movement. Keep going with that. And I want you to remember that your neck is part of your spine. So to keep it in neutral, you need to gently draw the chin in and down. Good. Inhale back long and straight. Exhale, top of the movement. Keep going. I'm just going to check on you. Nice. We're going to do one more here, and then we're going to make this exercise a little different. Really good. Take the block now between the hands. So you're going to have the arms fully extended. The hands are on the long edges of the block. You'll be squeezing with your palms or you're pushing, either way, holding it very gently out in front of you. Draw the shoulders down and back. Tuck your tailbone under, really squeeze. Find your neutral spine. Breathe in, take it back. Breathe out, top of the movement. Breathe in, take it back. Breathe out, top of the movement. Keep going. Inhale it back, long and straight. Exhale to the top. So this is increasing the capacity that your quadriceps have to squeeze and tighten to extend your legs fully. It's a Splitstember special. Last two with the block. Last one. Nice. We are going to do one last round of this exercise, but it does not need any props. And this is our postural version. And then we'll lie down on our tummy and do some postural work. So squeezing the bottom, arms in arm prep. We inhale the T-zone tight, take it back in a straight line. We then turn the palms up to the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together without releasing the ribs. Inhale, bring it back with the palms facing each other, and exhale to the top of the movement. Inhale it back, straight line, palms face up, exhale, open, palms face in, inhale, close, and exhale to the top of the movement. Inhale it back, exhale it open, inhale it closed, exhale to top, inhale it back, exhale it open, inhale it closed, exhale the top. Now you keep going, coming to check on you, inhale it back, make sure your shoulders, now the shoulders and your arms, they never belong to your chest. Your shoulders and your arms belong to your back. Make sure that that relationship is really obvious here. A little bit more rib to hip connection, guys. Last two, Rachel's dying, sorry. And one more, last one. Beautiful. Now quads and hip flexors have worked really hard. I'm going to give them a quick stretch for you because I can see they're starting to tire. We're going to sit back on our feet. We're going to do both legs at once. This is just our first stretch for today. It's not our last stretch for today. You can have your hands either facing towards your feet or out to the sides, but please don't turn them around behind you. Pressing them down directly under the shoulders. We're going to squeeze the bottom to lift the hips and press the knees down through the floor. So we're not arching the back, we're squeezing the bottom, keeping the ribs contained to lengthen the front of both thighs. Sitting back down, we're going to shift that into one side at a time now. So bringing the right toes out in line with the left knee, taking the hands back to underneath the shoulders, squeezing the left butt cheek, checking that your hips are still even with each other. So checking that your pelvis is still in neutral. Keep squeezing the left butt cheek, pushing the left knee down, and then sit back onto your heel. We're now going to come into our 90-90 position. So the left hip is on top of the left knee. The pubic bone is drawing, sweeping up into the belly. The hips are level. The right hand is on the right knee. We take the left arm up into the air. So T-zone type, inward sweeping. Breathe in. Drop the right shoulder to the side and tip. Breathing out. Can you squeeze your left underbutt a little bit more? Great. Hollow the belly. As long as you can get through the left side, make sure you're not rolling forward. We want to keep in line with the hips. Love it. Coming back up to the start position. We're now going to take the right knee down, step the left toes in line with the right knee, and sit all the way back onto the right foot. Hands come to the floor, shoulders right over the wrist. Squeeze your right butt cheek to lift the right hip. Make sure you're staying neutral through the pelvis, even through the hips. Keep squeezing. Sitting the bottom down. We're going to lunge it out to 90-90. So we need to check in that we're not dropping the right hip and lifting the left. That's something I do literally every time. Then wrap that right hip forward. Draw the pubic bone in and up. Left hand is reaching down onto the knee. Right arm comes up by the ear. Really extend as you breathe in. Keep tucking the tailbone under as we tip to the left. Breathing out. Coming up to the center, back it off. We're going to come down onto our tummy to do some postural work. This is our hardest level for this. You're going to have the hands in front of you. And I really do encourage starting this today with the head either on the block or on your cushion so that the back of the neck is really nicely extended. Tuck your tailbone under, push the pubic bone through the ground. Sometimes you need to take your legs a little further apart, but they shouldn't be wider than your hips. Scooping the belly button in and up away from the floor. The T-zone tightens as we inhale. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades down and back in a V shape as you exhale. Relax it off as you breathe in. The collarbones broaden as the shoulders draw inwards and back, breathing out. Relax on the inhale, squeeze on the exhale. Now, it's really important that your elbows don't bend. Really important that your elbows don't bend. This is just the shoulders squeezing. We're trying to get all the muscles around your rotator cuff as well as your trapezius. We're really working the trapezius here to do the job that it's supposed to do very efficiently. And so if your elbows bend, you are breaking that chain. We want this to work really well. 2 more just like this, keeping the tailbone tucking down into the mat, keeping the pubic bone pressed down, keeping the belly button rising. Great. This time as you squeeze the shoulders back, we're going to lift the face off the floor or the block, keeping the gaze down. T-zone tight to prepare, lifting and squeezing. Controlling back down, lifting and squeezing. Give me 3 more of these. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, keeping the tailbone down. Be careful that what's happening in our body is only happening in the upper body. The lower body has to stay absolutely still. Really pushing the ankles and the toes down. Holding at the top of the next one. So I want you to keep your chin down, your gaze onto the ground. T-zone tight, breathe in. Lift the right arm, breathing out. It's extended fully. There's no bend at the elbow. Inhale it down, extend the left arm fully. Inhale it down, extend the right arm fully. So we're lifting on an exhale and lowering on an inhale. I'm not letting my shoulder approach my ear. So I'm squeezing into the back. Last 2. Last 1. All right, now the next thing I have for you is super, super difficult. I want you to take your hands onto the edges of your block. You're going to squeeze into the edges of the block. Squeeze the shoulder blades back and down. Keep pushing your feet and the pubic bone into the ground. T-zone tight, we inhale. Lift the block as we exhale. Lower it down as we breathe in without bending the elbows. Lift it as we breathe out. Lower on the inhale. Lift it on the exhale. So you're still looking at the floor with your chest up. Good, just 4 more. This is really powerful. 4, extending, reaching it away. 3, 2, really nice work, guys. Try and keep the same height with your body. 1, great. Lowering that back down. You can now make a pillow with your hands under your forehead. So really important that we don't over-recruit the low back when we do this work with our legs. You might need to create some more space across the pelvis so that your pubic bone can press down and your feet can press into the ground. T-zone tight, we breathe in, squeeze your underbutt to lift that right leg really long and straight as you breathe out. Inhale it down, exhale, switch to the left. Inhale it down, switch to the right. So there's no movement at all through my pelvis. I'm just squeezing my underbutt to lift my very nicely pointed leg, and it won't go very far, and that's okay. We're training this capacity, and over time it will lift higher as those muscles get stronger. That's why we move slowly, to encourage them to go that millimeter further without anything else changing. 1 more on each side, and then we come to our final exercise for today. We'll be placing the block between the ankles now. Block or cushion between the ankles, extending the leg fully. Now, it won't feel like they're going anywhere, and that's okay. Be satisfied that squeezing the leg and squeezing into the block and working to lift is enough. So keep that broad space across the pelvis. Scoop the tailbone under, lift the belly button into the low back. Point your toes and squeeze. T-zone tight, we inhale. Squeeze your underbutt, lift the block as we exhale. Lower it down as we breathe in and lift again as we breathe out. Lower it on the inhale, lift it on the exhale. Keep going. You have another 6. Lifting on the exhale, lowering on the inhale. And if it doesn't feel like it's moving, it doesn't mean it's not working. You're doing a really good job. Yeah, lifting that belly button into the low back, keeping it long and straight. Really nice. Really nice. Last 3. Lift and squeeze. Last 2. One more time. And we are done. Releasing the block. We're going to take a stretch exactly where we are. So your right arm, I'm just going to kick that out of the way, is going to come out like a stop sign. The elbow is just fractionally higher than the shoulder. We're going to take our left hand into tricep push-up position, like this, and your right ear is going to come to the floor. Your left knee bends and lifts up towards the ceiling. We're going to roll onto the edge of the right hip and tap the left toe down on the ground. You might need to extend your left leg some more to find where that is. Now notice your right shoulder. Try and roll it further away from your ear and down towards the ground. If you want to make this stretch a little more intense, slide your fingertips up away from your head. If you want to back it off a little bit, slide your elbow down towards your toes. And if you want to go even deeper, make sure you're pressing your left knee towards the ceiling. You can extend your left arm up towards the ceiling, holding here for 2 more deep, slow breaths. Great, we're going to take the left hand down onto the ground if it's up in the air. Lift that left leg, sweep it back down onto the tummy and switch the arms around. So the left arm goes out into its stop sign. The left ear comes to the ground and the right arm is in our tricep push-up position. Right knee bends, lifts up and rolls all the way back as we switch onto our left hip. We adjust that left shoulder position, making sure it's away from the ear. We're getting the most as we can out of the chest stretch. And if we want to go a little bit deeper, we can extend that right arm up. Just keeping the collarbones really broad, shoulders drawing back. And instead of rolling onto our tummy, we're just going to lift the head and roll onto our back, keeping your right foot bent, right knee bent. Bring your left foot over it and draw the right knee towards you. Let's find a nice spot to stretch that left hip. Keep thinking about the left knee widening. And stretching it around, right foot down, left foot down, cross the right foot over, turn the knee out to the side, bring it towards you, take a hold and use that right elbow to send the right knee open. Finally, we're going to take a little rock and roll. Now you can go through crossed legs and put your hands on the floor to come into a forward fold. Or if you're working on your mobility, you can come directly into your forward bend and heel toe your feet together until your ankles are directly under your hip bones. Release the crown of the head down. Nod your head yes. Release your neck. Shake your head no. Let any tension go. Keeping the head really heavy, keeping the arms heavy. We're going to slowly stack our spine. So I want you to find your C curl. This is our roll up. It should make us feel good for the rest of the day. So take your time. Stacking the hips over the heels, extending the legs. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, becoming upright. Lifting the shoulders, squeezing them into your back and sliding them down as you draw the chin in and extend to your crown. Fantastic work today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again.